So the way I decided to be a pharmacist, it wasn't necessarily something that I had dreamt of or had always wanted to do or be. It really came down to like my parents sat me down one day and said, you need to decide what you want to be.
Not the Nigerian parents,
and they said,
Nigerian parents.
by this weekend, think about what you want to do with your life and let us know.
Wait, so
and
they gave you 3 days.
They give me like a timeline, yes.
Okay.
It was like an actual sit-down conversation. It was me and my brother at the time. And my brother is like a year and a half younger than me. So like wild to think that a 14-year-old would like know what they want to be and what they want to do
crazy.
with their life.
Yeah.
But I still remember vividly that conversation. They just said, yeah, think about what you want to be. And I opened my mouth and said, I know what I want to do. I want to be a fashion designer.
Welcome back to Growing Through the Madness. On this podcast, we talk about different people's stories. We are going to always be honest, or mostly be honest. We're going to share stories. We're going to talk about how we've gone through different things in life while we're vibing, while we're hustling, and all of that. Again, my name is Abby, and I would like you to support me, follow, subscribe, and all the lovely things. So today, we have a lovely guest. Shout out to Amara! So Amara is joining us today. And
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, it's just on, yeah.
Okay, so okay. Amara, do you want to tell us how we met? How did we meet? Okay. I have my own stories, so I'm kind of curious to know what your story is, if it's the same thing.
Like how we met, the first time we met?
Yeah, how we met.
Oh, I remember the first time we met, yeah. So we met, can I remember the year? It was going to be year 2009? No?
You're aging us, but yes.
Yeah, I know. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said the year, but 2009, so it's been, what, 16?
Yeah, about that.
Wow. About 16 years, like almost 16 years, yeah. Because I think we met like first week of school, probably like around September. We were both at the U of A in Edmonton, Lister Center.
Yeah.
So we both lived on Res. And I met Abby in the cafeteria. Actually, no, let me not. I saw Abby before she saw me. So there was a performance.
You've seen me before.
There was do you remember like the first week of school when you come there, all the different floors usually do like this performance or something. And I was there when your floor was performing. And I remember seeing your performance. I just remember thinking like, oh, cute. Like, I don't know. I didn't know who you were. But I just remember just being like, okay, cute, you know? No idea who you were.
Oh, I remember.
And then I think a couple days later, I was in the cafeteria with Tosin. Shout out Tosin.
Another friend of ours.
Yeah. And I think we were just sitting. And I want to say you walked up to us.
I did.
And asked, are we Nigerian or something?
I did.
And we're like, oh, you know. And I think I don't remember the rest of that conversation, but really that's where it started.
Yes.
That's how I met Abby. We went to the same university. We were kind of part of the same circle of friends.
Yes.
And we just kind of did stuff together. I think university, like people just kind of group around people who are similar to them, taking similar classes and things like that.
But you were in science. So, I was like one of the few people in business.
I think just because like we were all in res, and we were all Nigerian, kind of in a similar phase in life. Like we would study together and do things like that together. Yeah. We just kind of were always
we went to the same
with
parties.
each other.
Yeah.
Like we were always in the same area, so that's kind of how we became friends.
Yeah.
But I think it wasn't until I want to say it was a couple months later, I think, that we became close friends. Like we were just part of the same circle. And I think it was your birthday. That was the first time that we had a one-on-one conversation. That's the first time that we spent time together.
I turned 21.
One-on-one.
Yeah.
That was it 21st? Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
Was it the same year or was it after? Was it like a year later or so?
Either the same. It probably was a year after.
Maybe, wow! Remember. So a whole year went by. We were not even.
Remember,
we were just in the same circle.
But I know that my birthday came and I invited people. But my birthday's in December. Everybody goes home around that time. So half of the people I wanted to show up could not come because we were going home, and I was sad. And then And Amara said, no, come. And then she took me to her room, and she had pink walls.
Yes.
Maybe I'll put a photo of the picture of my two.
Yeah, was that day?
Yeah.
Was it that same day?
That was that day.
Oh, wow, a lot happened that day. Really?
So you took me to your room, and she's like, I'm going to do your makeup. I was like, okay.
Ah.
And she did my makeup, and then I went to her room. I think that was probably my second time in your room. And you did my makeup, and we went out for dinner. We went out dancing after.
We went out to, I remember we went, to a party after.
Yeah. Oh my God.
To the club.
Good times. And
I remember that.
The music was horrible, and then you just put one hand up and go down.
I think it was fun because up. We were just kind of like, we were just having fun. It wasn't that it was like a great party or whatever, but I think we had a good time. We had a good time, and I think we were able to like make light of the situation and find humor in the situation. Yeah. And if you know me, like I like humor, like especially back then. Like I'm not a serious person at all. Like I was not serious. And not that I wasn't serious in a bad way, but like I just like to have fun and just like have a good time and just so like someone who's able to do that, like I really like appreciated that.
Yeah, and I'm one of those
like it doesn't
people.
have to be like a cool party or a fun party, but you can actually just come and just have fun and just let loose. You don't have to like I didn't like, I don't have to put this party in, but I don't like it when people are kind of like stuck up or just like, oh, this party sucks, and they're just like not having fun or whatever.
But that's how the girlies party these days. Apparently, the younger people they don't dance. I don't understand.
Oh really? Oh,
they're on their
like
phones.
At the club?
Like apparently I don't party. Wow. I don't go clubbing.
I don't go clubbing, so I don't know.
Not anymore. I go to parties, but guys, the clubs are. I feel like the grandmother. I love my dad.
Yeah, no, I can't relate with that. I just want to, if I'm going out, I want to have fun. Same. And it doesn't matter, like, I don't allow the circumstance of what's around to really dictate whether I'm having fun or not. It's usually the people who I'm with. I think you can have fun anywhere with the right people. Yeah. It's about finding the right people. So, yeah.
Okay, that's true. That's how we met. But I'll tell you my version. It's very similar.
Okay.
But on my part, I think I'd seen a bunch of... I came from another school, so I transferred. And the people at the U of A already had their friends, but I didn't care. I was like, whatever.
It was my second year.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And it was my first year at the school. Your first year
at that school, yeah.
At that school, no, it was my third year in school. But first year at that school, because I did a transfer program from another university.
Right.
And I saw a bunch of black people everywhere. Where I was coming from, we were like maybe 5 or 6 black, not Nigerians, black people. So I was used to just seeing a black person and going say hi. And I carried that energy to the U of A where there was more of us. And I remember somebody told me to do that thing and I did it. I didn't mind. And I saw you and Tosi in the cafeteria. I was like, I bet you're Nigerian. Like literally, I was just like...
We have a vibe around us, an aura.
No, it's not. I just... sometimes you just shoot your shot.
You're like, you didn't know what you were...
I wasn't sure. I was just like, what if they are? And I didn't even care. I just wanted them to be Africans. But it's easier if you're Nigerian, right? Either way, Africans are one step closer. Because most of the other people that I knew from my other school were not...
They were African, but not
most people were Africans, but they were not necessarily Nigerians, right? So I went up. I think I just sat down. I was like, are you guys Nigerians? Yes. I was like, I'm coming. I went to get my food and came to sit. I don't think they asked me to sit.
I think we were just like stunned, but I think we're stunned by how forward you were. But we didn't mind. Like, honestly, like, we're not the type of people to be like, oh, what is she doing? Like, we're just like, oh.
I just came. I was like, oh, are you Nigerians? Yes. I was like, hold up, I'm coming. Yeah. I went to get my food, sat down, and I kind of wanted to talk about some things, and I figured that, you guys didn't go to high school in Nigeria. I was like, okay, they're not going to understand what I'm saying. So I switched up the conversation a little, but that's how I met them. But they were really nice, really welcoming. I think you guys, Tosin and Aussie, invited me to a party, like literally that week. I miss being young. I'm still young, but it was nice. And I was like,
different
okay,
days,
I'll come.
that was different times.
And we just go.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's like so easy as well because we were all in the same, like we lived in the same building, like in the same area. There were like 4 buildings in that res, but we all lived in the same area. We would just walk from one person's room to another. You can plan, let's go out. Okay, you just go to another person's room.
You do your makeup. You sleep
Sometimes
over.
you go get hair curling iron from one room, makeup from the other room, dress up. Like one room is the dress up from
Yeah, what are you
That
wearing?
was like,
what style are we going with? And I think me and Amara connected because we like to... our connection was like fashion. We were curious about makeup and hair, and we're stalking all the new girlies on YouTube.
Oh yeah, that was when YouTube started.
That was it, and we talk about it like literally.
Patricia Bryce. That was when she was a Britpop princess.
Princess with her hair.
Doing hair videos, yeah.
And
Jenny Beauty by JJ.
Beauty by JJ, and those girls taught me. Jenny by JJ taught me that I could do extensions and I could do...
Like hair extensions?
Yeah, like in a different way. Because back then, we used to go to beauty supply stores to get...
That was before the virgin hair.
Yeah, and then Beauty by JJ came and said, no, that's not how we do it
AliExpress. Was she doing AliExpress or...
No, but they had her face everywhere.
Oh, they had her... I remember that, yeah.
Oh my God.
Those were the times before
I miss that. I actually miss... Sometimes I would sit and think about...
Those were the good old days.
Like just that. And I miss that. I miss you guys. I just miss the freeness that we had when we were younger and the friendships that... I'm grateful that we were able to form good and genuine friendships.
That last.
Because a lot of you guys are still some of my closest friends.
No, seriously.
And you're not going anywhere. Period.
Yeah.
So I really, really miss that. And okay, let's come back to reality. Now we're adults.
Are we?
We're trying.
Oh, I'm still a baby girl.
Yeah. No, I am still a baby girl too. Be in different phases of life. Amara is a PharmD. She's a pharmacist. She's also a content creator. Yep. Tell us a little bit about the content that you create.
Yeah, so I started creating. I've kind of always created content in some sense. Like even in university, like towards the end, I had a blog that I didn't tell anyone about. So I was just posting just random things like fashion things. I didn't know. I wasn't posting that much. It wasn't like I was posting every week or whatever. Betrayed. But I will post maybe once a year or something like that. I don't even remember the name of that blog, what it looked like or anything, but I didn't tell anyone. But I know that I've always had this interest in creating. I love doing makeup, taking pictures, just putting things together, and things like that. So it's something that's kind of been there for a long time. Even going back to high school, I was always actually the more creative person. I love the arts and things like that. I used to draw and paint.
I didn't know you used to draw.
Yes, I did. But I honestly kind of put that to the side when it's a long story short, but I was just focused on school. Okay, I'm going to go to school, do the sciences, and come out, as a pharmacist. So I just didn't really think about that part. And so I've always had that creative thing inside of me that I've wanted to express. And I think through university, I was just so focused on graduating. And then when I finally graduated, the first little bit, you're focused on working, figuring out life. But when I started to have the time and the means, I started to invest a little bit in content creation. I bought a camera my first year after I graduated. And then I started just putting out things on my initial blog, Azaria Lifestyle.
I remember that one.
Yeah, so that was when I started. And even then, I wasn't even telling people. I wasn't posting about it. We had Instagram. I wasn't sharing anything for people. It was just that I was posting sometimes here and there. But I think the real switch happened in 2017. So in 2017, I got married. And I think for the first time, I had a bit of a pause to just kind of think about, okay, what do I want to do? And I had moved to Toronto from Calgary, and I moved in the summer, and I started looking for jobs. And in that break, I started thinking about, okay, what do I want to do, with my life? What do I want to do with my time? And I decided to just kind of give this content creation thing a bit more of a go. So that's when I started kind of telling people about it more, posting on Instagram, oh, I have this blog post, check it out. And I was doing the blog with my sister at the time. And so we did that, on and off, never consistent for a while. And then it was during COVID that I was like, you know what? I actually really want to make money out of this. I actually want to make this a thing.
I remember that. Actually.
And I now made the switch to just kind of be more serious and more intentional about it. I started my YouTube channel at that time.
What's it called?
Just Amara Uche.
Okay.
So Amara Uche on YouTube, where I was posting semi-consistently. I was posting mostly motivational, inspirational stuff that was helping me at the time. And I think I've just kind of progressed through that over the years. And right now I basically share content that speaks to me. So content that's just really documenting the journey that I'm on right now. And really that journey right now is just documenting my life, my journey as a working mom who is just trying to find balance and just make sense of this life and make sense of, what it's like to have a 9 to 5 and still make time for yourself, what it's like to maintain your health, what it's like to figure out how to be a good mom, take care of the home and things like that. Really just documenting my journey right now. So in a nutshell, I've always loved creating content. I've always had this, I guess, interest in being more creative. And this is just an avenue that I have chosen to do it in. And so definitely check out my blog or my website, amarauche.com. My YouTube is Amara Uche, and I'm on Instagram and TikTok as well. So I'm on all the platforms, girl.
Yeah, no,
I'm on everywhere.
No, it's good because
but I'm really hustling right now. Hustling to just kind of like carve a space for myself, because really I'm just documenting my life. I find that that's just...
But I think that even documenting your life, you're showing people different ways at which they can still have a full life even as moms. We've talked about this before, where it's like, I'm a mom, but it's good for them to know that I have a life of my own, and to own that life. And I've been enjoying your content because I think I'm always like on your TikTok, almost like I'm stalking you. I'm not. But
stalk away, please. No.
But so I'm enjoying the content, and I think it's very motivating. And I know you want to also start sharing more about the medical side of things, your profession. Do you want to tell us? I have 2 questions. The first one is, what did you want to be as a kid? What did you want to be when you grew up?
Okay, what I want to be. Okay, so I'm a pharmacist. So I'm a clinical pharmacist. I work at a hospital here in the GTA. And long story short, I knew I wanted to be a pharmacist since I was about like 15, 16. So pretty young, I would say, for someone to kind of know what they want to be and to follow through. So the way I decided to be a pharmacist, it wasn't necessarily something that I had dreamt of or had always wanted to do or be. It really came down to like my parents sat me down one day and said, you need to decide what you want to be.
Not the Nigerian parents.
And they said,
parents
by this weekend, think about what you want to do with your life and let us know.
Wait, sorry. And they gave you 3 days.
They give me like a timeline, yes.
Okay.
It was like an actual sit-down conversation. It was me and my brother at the time. And my brother is like a year and a half younger than me. So like wild to think that a 14-year-old would like know what they want to be and what they want to do with their life.
Yeah.
But I still remember vividly that conversation. They just said, think about what you want to be. And I opened my mouth and said, I know what I want to do. I want to be a fashion designer. Because like I said, I've always been more like artistically inclined.
Why are we laughing?
It's not funny, actually. We just know like African parents, like what their expectations are and what they want for you. And fashion design was not what they envisioned for me. They were just like, you're so smart, you're good at school, which I was good with school. I think they just kind of saw like a path that they wanted for my life. And I remember they said, it has to be something that, I remember they said something like, yes, something that you can fill out on a passport that this is your profession. It has to be a profession, like something, obviously we joke about doctor, lawyer, engineer. They told me that it should be something straightforward, that you say what it is and people know what you do. So I was like, okay. So I basically wrote down a list of all the professions that I knew. It wasn't that many. I wrote down a list and I think we had Google then. So I just Googled, like, what does this person do? What do this do?
You were smart.
And I think, like, it's the firstborn daughter in me. Like, I'm just, like, such a obedient child. Like, if you tell me that, okay, you have to do one of these 10 things, I will be like, okay, yes. So that was literally, like, my response. Like, I was, okay, I can do one of these things. I'll decide. And I guess, like, I'm just one of those people, like, if I set my mind to something, I'm going to do it. And so they said, you have to do this. So I'm the obedient child in me. I was like, of course, I have to do something that they want me to do. And so I researched like a couple of different professions, and I just settled on pharmacy. Like I did not know anyone who was a pharmacist.
Wow.
I had seen a pharmacist once in my memory when I went to the pharmacy to pick up a cream for eczema around that time. And I just was like, okay. Like I looked into like, okay, what do you need to do? What subjects you need to study to be a pharmacist?
Yeah.
It was mostly like biology, chemistry. And I was like, okay, those were subjects that I was strong at.
Excuse me.
So those were subjects that I was strong at. I knew that I did not want to do anything to do with blood or like any bodily fluids. I didn't want any part of it. I didn't like physics at all. So I knew that engineering, all that stuff was not part of my life. So it was literally just like thinking things through, like what do I like, what do I not like, and crossing things off a list, literally a list.
Girl.
That list is probably somewhere right now.
That is such a smart approach. The only time, you know, when I did this exercise, you know, there was a time I was asking all of you guys, what do you think I'm good at? That's, how old was I? That's when I did it. And then I did it again in 2021, 2022, when I was trying to pivot. I was trying to leave my previous employer, and I wanted to be very intentional about what company to go for and what role to go for. So I did a whole list as to what am I really good at? What am I naturally good at? What are things I'm good at that I don't necessarily enjoy as much, but I can use that to make money. And what are the things that it's a no. So those ones I'm really good at and I don't really enjoy the way on them in the middle because they're functional stuff. You locked this.
I guess I figured it out at that time.
Oh my god.
But it's like I guess it's a useful skill to have. And honestly, I just never deviated since then. Like people would ask me, oh, you know, why pharmacy? I couldn't really give a good answer. It's just that it made sense. Like it made sense based on like, you know, I had made that decision all those years ago and it made sense. And to be honest with you, like throughout my journey, like when I look back, like things have just always fit and worked in terms of timing, in terms of opportunity, that I have no doubt that I'm walking in the path that I'm supposed to walk in. You know, I didn't choose this path for any reason. It wasn't as if I was like, oh, I want to make money or I want to work in this or I want to do this. But somehow like things have just kind of opened up at the right time in the right way for me. And it's just one of those things that just makes me realize, okay, you know, I think I'm walking along the right path for myself. And that's what's most important. So
I really
that's kind of my story.
like that. I really like that.
But then I did like kind of shut out like all the other, because I'm the type of person, like if I'm going to do something, I'm going to be super focused about it. So like all those art stuff, like I really like shut a lot of things out, and I never really like picked up, like even the painting, I never really picked that back up. Like I did a little bit at some point, but not to the extent like before when I was in high school. Like my parents in their house still have like some of like the stuff that projects that I worked on in high school. But I never really like went back to that fully. So yeah.
But you know what? You can still do those things. So for example, to relax. Yeah. So you can do them as a hobby just for yourself. Yeah. Like join a painting class or an arts class or whatever so that you're able to like, you know. Yeah.
I might explore it, but also I'm also not sure if it was just a part of my life then, because it's like I was 15, 16 at the time, so who I was then is not who I am now.
That's true.
So I don't know if it's something I would still enjoy, but it might be worth exploring to see if, you know, I might still enjoy it.
Yeah, I think you should. Yeah. So do you have a different channel for sharing things medically related, like for the new content you're trying to start creating, or are you going to is that also going to be on Amara Abi?
Yeah, I'm hoping to just incorporate it all under, because it's all like aspects of who I am. Yes. So I'm sharing myself and sharing my journey, and even within the health, like it's sharing things from my perspective and things that I'm finding helpful. Yes. For me, and hoping to help other people through that. Yeah. So I'm still going to share it under the same umbrella.
Okay. Yeah. So it's actually really good to know that how you just were very focused and all of that. Some of us learn those things later in life, but it's all good. It's all good. And so if you wanted to catch Amara, if you want to ask questions about how to get into pharmacy, about content creation, please reach out to her at Amara Uche on Instagram, TikTok.
AmaraUche.co on Instagram and TikTok.
Yes.
And then on YouTube, just type in Amara space Uche.
Yeah.
And then my website is www.amarauche.com.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. So, guys, I met Amara when she was single, and we were all mingling.
Was I mingling? I don't know.
You were not mingling?
Not really.
Okay. If you say so. But yeah, we were mingling. I'm just and I remember when Amara came and told us that she met this guy. I'm like, wait, what? And then I met him at dinner. And then he's been calling me. I'm like, okay. And then one day, when did we meet? We met him at a friend's wedding. That was the first time.
Was that the first time you met him?
I think that was the first time we officially met him in person. We had seen him over video call, right? Like, I remember we had a party.
Oh, no, the first time was like my birthday.
Your surprise birthday?
My 25th, yeah.
Yeah. That was the first time we met him. That was, okay, yeah.
Yeah. No, did you not meet him before?
I don't think I did. It was over FaceTime.
He was there in December for Name's birthday. Do you remember that?
Was that Name's birthday?
Were you not there?
I don't remember.
No, I don't remember all the people who were there, but he was there. He met a bunch of people there, I remember.
I mean, I've been in
That was the first time that we went out together. I think I met people. Maybe you were, it was in December.
I mean, I've been in Edmonton. Yeah. I can't remember if I met, or something must have been going on that I wasn't there.
But definitely my birthday for sure, which was in April the next year. Yeah,
I think that was probably my first time of meeting him before the wedding we went to in Houston, right? Yeah. And now we're getting a little personal.
Okay.
When you guys were dating, I'm just gonna go right into it.
Okay.
When you guys were dating, how important do you think money or how financially secure or close to secure a man is when you're dating a woman, especially now that we're in our 30s. But what did you think when you were in your 20s, when you met him? And what do you think now as a graduating, an adult that is trying to adult?
We're at a different stage.
Yeah,
yes.
Stage 2, like we're in primary, like grade 2 of adulting.
Yeah, I think I've always thought that finances were important. Now, the level of importance that I gave to it, or even the amount, how much I knew about finances back then versus now is so different.
Yeah.
And I think that, fortunately or unfortunately for me, I did not know that much back then. So when I met him, all I wanted to know was like, does he have a job? Yeah. And does he work hard? And I didn't have a gauge of knowing, how financially literate or secure or anything he would be or I would be. Because I think, like, at that stage, like, you just don't know what you don't know. I don't know. I feel like now we just know too much that it makes it harder, kind of like what to watch out for and things like that. But back then, we just did not know what we didn't know. And I think a lot of things, like, even though we did have conversation about finances, like, before we got married.
So you guys actually talked about it?
We did it a little bit to some extent. Like, I think to the extent of, like, we talked about, like, what our goals, I think we talked a lot about what our goals were, what our vision is for our lives and the kind of life that we want to live. And I think just by those discussions, I knew that, okay, we need to, like, we were kind of on the same track. Yeah. In terms of the quality and the type of life that we want to live.
Yeah.
We didn't have goals in terms of the amounts of money or anything. Like, I didn't even know for myself what amount of money was good, reasonable for me to be making. Or
also, that's also like a very subjective thing. Like, something that is good enough for me may not be good enough for somebody else. We're all in different stages. And the $2 values could also say you're both successful.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think the big thing for me and what gave me peace of mind was that we both shared similar vision and we both shared, we both shared similar, like, interests as well. Like, we knew that we wanted to travel. We knew that we wanted to be able to help out back home. We knew that, the things that we wanted to do with our money kind of aligned. And so that was important for me. And I knew that, and I guess, innocently, I just knew that we would make it work somehow. Yeah. I don't know. But like I said, I didn't know what I didn't know. And so I think we've gone through a lot of learning now together. And obviously we're in a much like stronger, better place financially. But not just financially in terms of the amount of money we have, but just even mentally in the way we think about money and the way we knowing what to do with money. Like we're just in a much better place mentally, I think, when it comes to money.
Well,
so I think we've grown.
I think. Sorry, I'm not thinking. This is facts.
Okay.
One of the things I liked, and I'm going to pick on what you said, was when you were dating, you saw that this man works hard. I made a mistake when I was younger. You know what I'm talking about? That person, they sold me dreams. But they were hardworking, no.
Yeah.
And I believed the foolish dreams, even though I saw, like, and that's the thing with younger people, a man or a person can sell a lot of things, but your husband, even when we were younger, was already, we all could see that he was hardworking. Like, at least from what we could see, that he was hardworking. I'm laughing at myself right now. But when you're younger, you don't realize that you need a man that talks the talk, which he did.
It's like, talk the talk and walk
the walk.
Walk the walk. Yeah. Like there has to be like substance, and then again, not necessarily like the amount of money, but there has to be something that they are doing that's showing you that they're not just talking, but they're actually doing things to move them in that direction. And there were a lot of things that I saw him doing that showed me that. He was very intentional about showing that. And I think we were also a long distance relationship, which meant that intentionality was so important. He had to be extra intentional to compensate for the fact that we were not together all the time.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that. And I think that's what brought us together and has kept us together.
Yeah.
Starting out our relationship on that intentionality has really allowed us to just kind of get through certain things and just keep going.
Yeah, I actually really like that. Girl, I'm happy for you. You already know. Like, you already know. But that's the thing too. But what would you say to maybe people our age or even younger to watch out for? Because I think, the thing is, I think that it's important to talk about money while you're dating. When I was younger, I did not understand that I needed to. I was one of those people that believed, oh my God, love is enough. I'm just like naive and just like, I'm not that way anymore. I'm a little jaded now. I also understand that money isn't everything. You know what I mean? No. Like, there are other factors that you consider. Like you said, a person that has a core principle of working hard will push your family further. And you can trust them more because you're like, you may not have today, but... And there's level of not haves.
There's level of not have.
No, there are levels of not haves that I would not compromise with anymore because I feel like I'm past...
You're at a certain age and a certain stage of life. Yeah, it's different.
It's different for me now because in my 20s, yes, but now in my 30s, I just don't want to. Like, it's not even like I just genuinely.
Yeah, and I think that it's different because you're in a different stage, and the person who you're going to be with is also going to be. It's not like you're going to be dating a 26-year-old. No. I mean, who knows? But like, it's not.
No.
Right? So like, you at 25, 26 are different from who you are now, and hopefully, whoever that person is, they've also grown up from where they were when they were 25 to be a stronger, more adult version of themselves now. 100%. So they have to meet you at that more mature level.
Exactly.
So,
and that's the thing too. But looking at the hard work, don't look at what you see today. Because a lot of people, some people may even have been more fortunate in that opportunities come to them. And as they grow older, they waste. Life happens to people, but some people also are contributors to those things that are happening. Like maybe they waste the opportunity, they are not humble, they're careless, they're not disciplined. Things like that can allow you fall the wayside. But yeah, so I wanted. So how early would you say it is that you talk about money? I think I'm a bit. For me, I'm a bit like sometimes I'm like, I don't want to come across as this girl that's just like money, money, money. Yeah. But at the same time, I want to know. I want to know what your values are. I want to know what. But I think there's somebody said that you get to know a person when you look at their bank statement. Like, you get to see people's values.
Oh, like by what they spend money?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I've seen that before, and I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Is my value food? Clearly like to eat well.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, are they like, is it entertainment? Is it books? Is it their family? Are they investing in something and things like that? When would you say is a good time to talk about money when you start dating a guy?
So I'm going to give this answer different from what I did, because I feel like, again, I honestly don't remember when we started. Like, we never, like I said, like, we talked mostly about like our values.
Yeah.
And I think because we shared similar values and we were heading in the same direction, I never felt much cause for concern. Like, I don't think I've never, when we were dating, I've never, and even like I've never cared really to know the specifics of like, oh, how much money do you have in your bank account? How much do you spend on this? How much before we got married, I actually did not even know. And even now, if you stop me now, ask me how much is, I don't know. Even for myself, I actually don't know. Like, I don't, like, I've never really cared to like label things too much. It's more about like the values and like the direction and what we're doing with that money. Are we saving it? Are we spending it? So when we were dating, I don't remember us having like strict conversations about money like that. Maybe when we knew we were getting married, we maybe talked about like, okay, how will we manage money when we get married? Like, do we want to like contribute in one pot, or do we want to just like split bills and things like that? So we had those conversations like later on in our relationship, maybe like a year in and stuff, right? But in the beginning, we never really had like straight up conversations about money. However, now being older, if I was in the situation again, as an older, more mature person who knows more now, I feel like I would have those conversations definitely earlier. Not early, like in the first month, getting to know you.
Oh, no.
It would be like maybe like 3 months in, 4 months in, just subtly have those conversations about like, okay, even just conversations like, okay, what are your values around money? Like, where, do you believe in tithing? Just having questions like that, open conversation, because those things are important. Like, you might think that, oh, tithing is something that everyone does because that's how you were brought up, but not everybody believes in tithing the same way. Some people think tithing could be like tithing your time or service or things like that. So it's important to have those conversations, right? It's not that one person is right or wrong, but our values around money, our values around spending could be different. And so I think it's important to have those conversations somewhat early, maybe like around the 3-month mark. I don't know. It depends on obviously the conversation and the way things are going as well. Yeah. But I think in the beginning you will know. You have an idea based on conversations, right? Yeah.
Because you're also older, so your brain is like calculation.
Yeah. Like, did he just tell me that he took the bus to come for dinner? Like, like,
are you stingy? What's going on? Relax.
There's nothing wrong with taking a bus, but like, I'm just saying, like, your brain is kind of doing some math. Like, okay, we're in Toronto. Why did he commute 2 hours to come?
Yeah. Why
take the bus? Why didn't he drive?
Why didn't he take an Uber?
Yeah. So your brain will do some math,
and it may not even be because he doesn't have money. Maybe he's a bit
stingy, you think? Oh, like yeah.
And
those things are telling.
Some people are frugal,
and it's not a bad thing to be frugal.
It's not a bad thing.
Do you want like? Does that align with the way that you want to live your life? No. So that's the question, right? So like true. Those things, you don't necessarily have to have those like straight up conversations around money, but what was it that say? The money talks or something. Like you may not have to say it, but you will know.
Or like somebody that that maybe they're doing well, they're doing averagely well, but the kind of things they're buying doesn't add up to an idea. Like, you kind of know where they are financially. Like if I'm dating a guy and he's calling watches that I've never heard before, like names of
like Rolex.
Rolex. No, not Rolex. Like even like and then you go check and it's like 20K, 30K, and I'm like,
is that a good or bad? I don't know.
It's questionable for me.
Oh, why? 20K. That means like.
Balling. Yeah, but is he balling or is he
wasting his money on
like if you can comfortably afford it, of course. But if you're still you're still gathering your coins. You're not doing badly, but you're not at a place where you can just blow up 30K, 50K on a trip.
Again,
do you
it's
know
like value.
do you know what I mean? Like, it's a value, and for me, I'm worried about. So maybe we were going out and you're like, oh yeah, maybe most weekends I go out with the boys and we get a couple of tables. I'm already nervous. So like now it's not like you don't have any money. It's like you're gonna be blowing up my kids' tuition because you and your boys want to have a good time. I'm not saying you and your boys should have a good time, but can it be planned? Can we put it in the budget? Like, I'm a budget person. So the going back to the wristwatch conversation is that you're making okay money, you have investment and whatnot, but when one is talking to you, you're not really talking about futuristic things you want to put your money in. You're just thinking of superficial. Today. Yeah, I personally, and that's a values thing, like you said, I personally don't understand it, and I tend to run away. And you know me, I like good things. I love a good life. Right. But there's levels to these things. Like, exactly, what's the cost? What am I going to have a great time now? Like, and I do like to have a great time, and I do, but at the same time, it's like the life that you want. So, I think it starts with knowing yourself, and knowing the kind of life that you want to live, and finding someone who can match that, or who's whose values align with that. Because it's not like you said, it's not all about material things. No. Like, you don't want people who are, you obviously, like, if you're not materialistic, you don't want someone who's materialistic. If you are materialistic, maybe you want someone who's materialistic, and that's fine as well. Like for me, like, I knew I wanted someone who understood that I like nice things, and would not complain about it. I think that's I'm not, true. And knowing me, I'm not like materialistic. Like, I like nice things, but I'm also frugal. It's that balance, like you're saying. And I really did not want someone who would, I just want someone who would understand. And like, Bernie does not like he's not materialistic at all. Actually, he's materialistic in like different ways from what I think I'm materialistic in. But like, we've learned to just appreciate and understand each other's areas, right? And I think that's what I really appreciate as well. Like, to someone spending X amount on, like, let's say hair, as an example. Not that I don't spend that much money on hair. If you do, it's fine. If you do, it's fine. But let's say you could spend $1,000 on hair, right? To somebody that could be like, huh? Wow. But if that's your thing, and every other way, you're frugal and stuff, that's fine. So I just want someone who would understand that if I have like my little quirks or something that I really want to splurge on, they would trust me to be able to, like, also have that level of trust. So, and I think trust is built as well. Trust doesn't just come automatically, but I think that comes over time. So I think that's something that we have learned to develop. It wasn't there from the start, but the more we've known each other, we've built that trust. Into that, even though I know that his thing is tech, the amount of money he can spend on tech, I don't understand, but I trust that, like, he knows what he's doing. And likewise, he can do the same for me on other areas. So I think, like, we don't necessarily, we're not the same, but we've built that trust over time. And you have the same, similar value system. I think for me, I just want everything to be in a budget. Like, let's put it in a budget. We all have our things I want to spend money on. But let's allocate dollar to it. Once you're getting to the top of your dollar, please. Please. Except you have to make a case. We have to make a case to each other as to why we want to spend above our dollar. That's how I would do it. But also, like, I'm in finance. My brain, this is your thing, my brain is already like, what have we said? It's doing the math. Already every day. I'm always doing Excel. Like, what's going on? Where's this going? Blah, 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 blah. But I'm not, like, I still like to enjoy. So it's not like, but I also, like, the same thing with you. I think one of the worries is that you date somebody that you're like, we go on our little trips here and there. It's not like I'm going traveling every month or every 2 months. But when you travel, you want to be comfortable. Imagine dating someone that doesn't understand it, and they're like, you're wasting money on this. On travel, That was stressing
Why can't
me
we just stay
out.
home? Yeah.
Or I want to go do my little skincare. Skincare's expensive.
They don't even need to understand it, but like, again, they could trust, just be like, okay, this is her thing that she loves. I'm going to go along with it for that, right?
Since you got married, and especially since you had kids, how would you say, as your friendship dynamics changed, like, do you think things have changed with friendships? And how have you adjusted to that, or have things just been the same?
No, I think definitely there have been changes, and I think there has to be changes. Like, life changes. So there are going to be changes. Even as you grow up, even if there were no kids or anything, things will change because life changes. We move to different areas, we meet other people, we just do different things and have different experiences. Because I think, in university, especially, I'll use university as the example. When you're younger, friendships are so much easier because they're friendships of convenience and proximity. Imagine the people you're friends with are people who were in your class, maybe lived on the same res, did the same things as you. You were always together. There was nothing really like, why are you not friends? Like, it's easy to to have friends and to maintain those friendships because a lot of those things are just built and formed around proximity and also similarity. You're basically just doing the same things, right? Even if you're just going to, I remember a lot of times we're just going to the library to study. And those are things that are forming connections.
Hardly studying, but continue.
But still, like, those are still forming connections. And it's, but things change as you get older. I think graduating and having people move to different areas, it takes a lot more work to maintain those friendships, one. Also, obviously, we talked about getting married and having kids. Getting married changed things a little bit because now my focus and my priority is now my husband. And the attention or the time that I would maybe usually spend with my kids, I'm usually at home with my husband. So that changes things a lot. But I think adding kids to it now takes it from here to like all the way.
Yeah.
Because I think it's also, obviously your attention goes to your family and to your kids, but it's also like having kids does something to your brain chemically, I think. That like it just changes you like as a person, your value system, the way you think, the way you act, everything just changes. Priorities, everything. I really believe that going through that process changes you. Like when people go through, it's not that it's a traumatic event or anything, but they're life defining moments, and that is one of them.
It changes something in your chemical.
It really changes something in you, yeah. And I think for me, I've always been like, I've always been a low-key person. Even in university, like I didn't really go out much. We hung out a lot, but it was because we were doing the same things or we were doing in the same areas. Yeah. And if you think about even when we would go out, I usually was not there.
No, like I also remember that after university, sometimes I'll have to drive 30 minutes to your parents' house to say we're going out. Yeah. Do you remember that?
I've always been a very low-key person. Like like to me, having fun, I don't need to go out to have fun. I can have fun in my room or, with people. Like, I just like low-key things. And I think having kids is the most, like, you're forced to be low-key. And I was very happy with that, actually. I was very content. And I found my comfort, I think, doing that. Yeah. So, yeah, it definitely changed things a lot. But I think, now that my kids they're 2 and 5 now. So they're older, and I'm in a place where I'm able to kind of find myself again. Because the beginning parts, like you do lose yourself because everything becomes about them. Even your relationship, with the spouse, like it changes. But I think now that they're a bit older and I'm able to find myself again and find what I like and find, just find myself generally. Yeah. Like I find that I'm trying and I'm more intentional about kind of like reconnecting those relationships and those friendships, even with like Bernie and my husband. Like just reconnecting with myself and who I am. Yeah. And it's going to be different, but I'm embracing that change and just trying to figure out what that different looks like. Yeah. I think like as we grow up, like things change, like our value system changes. And I think obviously, some people, I'm very fortunate that a lot of my friends, I've remained friends with them since. So through all of it, but some friendships have changed. Actually, all of my friendships have changed. They're all just different now.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah, it's just different. We just understand, we just have different things to like connect on now.
And different stages of life. And I think even from me on the other side, not understanding why, I think for me, not understanding why things changed and just sitting in the background was, I think for me, was a learning experience. Like with you particularly, it was like a learning, because I was just like, what's going on? But I was like, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
But we've had that conversation, and I know that on both sides, it was like life was changing, like you said, as we are growing, whether with kids or with a family. We're all changing and we're all like
even
evolving.
with or without. Yeah,
with or without.
We can't expect the friendship in your 30s to be the same. It should not. It should
because
not.
We're growing.
We're different people. Yeah.
So I feel like for me, it was more like I was also going through my changes. You were going through your changes, but I think for me it was hard to understand why the changes would affect things. But then I think it's healthy to realize it and give grace for that, because they're life-defining moments. What needed to have happened was more support versus a strain. That's what needed to have happened. But just like everybody's going through these changes, it's for some of us it's the first time and things like, and you just don't know.
You don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know. Yeah, and that's just the truth. So if you're in your 20s, you're gonna go through these things, but just give people grace.
Yeah, definitely.
Give people grace.
Give people grace, and also, like, give yourself grace as well. Because there's no playbook for how this should be or how it should be handled. Everyone is figuring it out in their own way. And the way, like, my friendship with you is not the same way my friendship with someone else is going to be. And it doesn't have to be. Because we're all different people. We just have to be committed to just working through things and figuring out what does this next phase or this phase look like for us. If we want to be part of each other's life, what is it going to look like? And work towards that and be okay with it.
And you know what? It's work. It sounds all good, and then it's work.
It's work. It's more work. It takes more work.
That you're like, no, this person is important enough for me and to me. They're going to remain in my life. So you put in work, they put in work. It's intentional. You put it in your brain and you walk towards how healthy you want it to be. So like people think, and because on Instagram or like, like I'm on X, Twitter.
Oh yeah.
I don't like calling it X.
I don't call it X either.
Yeah. So on Twitter, some girlies are like, "Oh my God, I wish I could have female friendships. I'm just like, yes, I pray that you do. Just know
it's work.
It's work. Yeah, if you want to have good, real, solid people in your life, you're not going to sit down. It's going to be inconvenient sometimes.
Yeah.
It's going to be inconvenient sometimes. It's going to be easy sometimes.
It is hard to make friends though as an adult.
It is.
And maybe, I don't know if I'm speaking from, since I've had kids, like it's very hard to make friends.
Yeah.
To make new friends. It's easier, well, not that it's easy, but I found that I've maintained some of my older friendships and worked at them more versus made new friends. I don't know if that's something that you found, or is it easy? Like, I don't know if it's...
No, it's not. It's also harder because I think it's harder to make friends when you're sure of yourself.
Yeah.
So you have less... And because you're putting a lot of energy into the relationships you currently have, it's hard to create new ones and put energy into them. That's what I find that I struggle with.
The energy that's required, yeah.
And it's like... It's exhausting. Like, getting to know somebody, meeting them, knowing their quirks...
Yeah, it's hard. I found, but imagine like you literally just walked up to us at a table and we became friends. Nothing. We didn't even care. Like we didn't ask any important questions. What are your values? What are you like?
No, but like you get to know a person. And I've made some friends in Toronto, but I feel like the first set of friends I made in Toronto are still my friends. I've not really made new friends along the way, and that's what I'm trying to do this year. Because life is changing, and I'm like, man. I better find my square root. I mean,
like square roots, what does that mean?
I don't know. It's something Nigerian says. No, but I think it's good to have other communities, and I think it's healthy to do that.
Yeah.
But it's hard to make friends as an adult.
Yeah.
It's not just hard to make friends as in me meeting people. It's hard for me to let people in.
Yeah. I think it's harder to.
I think that's what I'm even struggling with now, because, I'm friendly. I can be really friendly.
Yeah.
But I think my friendliness ends at the event.
Yeah.
When I get home,
it's just like, hi kind of friendship, right? You see them at events, you say hi.
I see them, I say hi.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I actually like that level of friendship. Like people who I can just genuinely just be happy to see.
Yeah.
When I see them, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's genuine.
It's genuine, yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy to see you. Or I meet a new person at a party or at an event, and I'm just like, I'm really friendly with them. Right. I get to know them, but that's where it ends. Like sometimes. And then some people try to be closer to you as well. But unfortunately, which is something I want to work on and just pay attention to my intuition with that, is sometimes I don't give back that energy. Because I feel like I'm
if you
tired.
Don't have it, you don't
I
have
just
it,
don't
right?
have it.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't want to be
friends.
No, I'm just like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired. But yeah, that's
and both parts have to play their part, right?
Yeah. Oh, girl. That's my struggle today. So I think that is all the questions that I have. But we have some questions. So guys, as Amara is going to pull up the questions that we're going to answer today, I'm going to have a session where you all can send in questions that you have, and me and whoever is sitting next to me will be able to answer those questions for you. Maybe one day Amara will come back and we'll do these questions. I think that would be fun. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, let's get into it.
You sent me two things. I'm gonna read the first one.
Yes.
This one.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll read. So we can cut out the parts.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll read it all. Do you want me to read it all, or just summarize the story?
You can read part of it and then summarize at the end. Yeah. Okay,
so I'll read the first part. This I guess is a post from someone. She says, "I recently threw."
It's from Reddit.
So this person, who is a 27-year-old female, says, "I recently threw a birthday party in my apartment. It was a pretty low-key gathering, about 10 friends, lots of snacks, a couple of drinks, and just a fun night hanging out. Everything was going fine until my friend, Sarah, 28-year-old female, showed up with her 7-month-old baby." So this person goes on to explain that she does love Sarah and she knows and understands that she's a mom, but she wasn't expecting her to bring her baby to the party, especially because she knew that there would be games, drinks, and things like that. So as they were at the party, the baby started crying and was not calming down. So it took her apparently an hour or so to calm the baby down. And it was really loud and it was disturbing other people. They were not enjoying the vibe. The vibe was not vibing.
It wasn't vibing at all.
So eventually this person, she pulled Sarah aside and asked if she could step out outside with the baby or take a break in the other room until the baby calmed down. Okay?
I think that's fair.
She explained that it was just hard to enjoy the party with the crying. Okay? And so this mom, Sarah, I guess, was very upset and told her that she should be more understanding, since she can't just leave the baby at home, and she was doing her best to keep her calm. She ended up leaving the party, and now she's not speaking to her. So the person is saying, "I feel bad because I know that being a mom is hard, and I also feel like it was my birthday, and I wanted to have a good time without the crying baby. Some people think I was rude for asking her to leave, while others think I was just trying to protect the vibe of the party."
What do you think?
What do I think? Okay, there are many things here that I have questions about, I guess.
Yeah, same.
I don't think it's like a straightforward, one person is right, one person is wrong. But I do feel like the person writing this was a little bit maybe not inconsiderate in their approach to the way they handled the situation. There are many questions I have because we don't know the full story.
Yeah.
First of all, okay, this person who is your friend, how close are you? Like, they have a 7-month-old baby and you invited them to this party. Did you actually want them to come? Or were you just inviting them for the sake of inviting?
Yeah.
Because 7 months is not like it's not like they have a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old or whatever. This is pretty much still a newborn.
Yeah.
Not really, but kind of, right? So what was the person supposed to do with the baby if you actually wanted them to come?
Yeah.
like, I guess that's my first question.
No,
like,
for real though.
Because does this person have a partner? Like, we don't know.
And
do they have help, or like, family members, people who could have taken care of the baby?
Yeah.
And at 7 months, like, maybe I don't know. You don't know what the situation is. So I guess my first question is like, what was your intent in inviting this person? Are they really that close to you, and was it really important for them to come? Was it communicated?
Yeah, and also like, did you tell them what the vibe would be like?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's gonna be
Made
drinks.
It clear, yeah.
Or babes, I have an event, but I know you have a baby. I'll come visit you later, or you can come over another night when it's just both of us, and we can take care of the. You can find a way to compromise with a friend that has a child, versus inviting them to an adult. Like, it sounds like it's a thing for like grown people.
Yeah, that's the only child there apparently.
Yeah.
And the one thing that stood out to me is like, it's a low key gathering. So someone told me it's a low key gathering. I'm not necessarily thinking like, oh, children are not invited.
Yeah.
So you might just think, oh, we're just hanging out.
Yeah.
And it could be innocent to just bring the baby, because who else is going to look after the baby?
Yeah.
Because like, it's something to just kind of like think. But I think there needed to have been communication
in the beginning. Yeah, I think so.
As to what kind of party it is. And if they do not want the baby to come, they should have said it and maybe not invited the person.
Yeah, but the person may be mad as well. Like, oh, you're not inviting me because of a baby.
No, I mean, like, if someone said to me, like, oh, I'm having this party, but I understand that if it's up to you. Like, if you can't find someone to take care of this baby, I would understand. I'd be fine with that. Listen, when my kids were small, I wasn't going anywhere. Like,
not seeing you.
There were some places I went. Actually, I remember I went for your graduation when Micah was like a month old or something. But like, we planned that, and like, we got someone to look after him, right? So like, if there's communication, like, and expectation as like where we're going and what it's gonna be like, you can usually plan. And if you cannot plan, then it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't plan. I don't have anyone to look after this baby. I can't come. Join on Zoom, maybe. Who knows? Like, what kind of party it is. But and I think communication up front.
I also feel like telling her to go to the room to calm down wasn't necessarily a bad thing to say, but I wonder if it was kind of a hostile way, like,
it's how it was said, right?
It's probably like, oh, if people if some people are saying that it was rude, maybe the approach of saying, oh, go into the room, versus if my friend's kid was crying, I'll be concerned, what's going on, let's go to the room, what do you need? I'll leave the other people and make sure that the kid, because imagine that the girl is also very frustrated, right? Like, the baby is also the mom is also frustrated that the baby is crying.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
She's probably stressed out that, oh my god, anxious that I came here, I thought it was gonna be chill, you're gonna sleep and you're crying the whole time. Yeah. So I think she wasn't considerate.
Yeah, and I think here it says crying for almost an hour. That's a long time. Any mom will be stressed if the baby's crying for an hour. Like, that's very stressful. So she's probably already flustered and embarrassed, probably, because who wants, like, it's not like you're bringing your baby to come and disrupt the party.
That's not your intent.
It's not the intent. So I would imagine that she was probably very embarrassed and very flustered if the baby was crying for literally almost an hour. So
so this one is called the pasta sauce. This sounds dumb, but I've always been a picky eater since I was a child, especially when it comes to tomatoes. My boyfriend is 26, I'm 20, and he has always known this since we started dating. He always told me my food habits were cute. We've been dating for 3 years now, and we moved in together. We split our task 50-50. He does all the cooking, and I do the cleaning and all of that. Everything seemed perfect because he makes my noodles do exactly the way I like them, until last week when we were eating spaghetti. I thought everything was good, but he started teasing me, saying things like, oh, you really like your pasta with an essence? How is your tomato essence, babe? It just keeps teasing me. So basically, this girl is very picky about her.
She doesn't like tomatoes.
Or she likes tomatoes a particular way.
Okay.
Or she likes a particular type of tomatoes.
Okay.
I don't know. Or tomato tin tomatoes a certain way. And her boyfriend does all the cooking and she does all the cleaning. And she's never had a problem because the food tastes exactly the way she likes them, until last week they were eating and he started teasing her about the tomatoes and the pasta. Oh, you like your tomatoes this way, you like your tomatoes that way, and she got upset. She's like, what are you talking about? They said, because today I didn't follow the instructions you wanted and you didn't have a problem with it. And then she's like, what do you mean? He has never, ever made the pasta the way she likes it. Ever. He has just been doing his own thing. And now she thinks it's a big deal. Like, she's upset. Like, he's been lying to me. He's been deceiving me.
But does she not know that before?
No.
Oh, so the whole time, over 3 years, he has not been making it the way
she likes them.
But she's been liking it.
Yeah.
So
now there's a problem because she's just like, but he's lying and deceiving me, and that's the issue, not necessarily the tomato sauce. And the guy thinks that she is blowing things out of proportion. And it's not even a big deal because she didn't even know the difference. What do you think?
Wow. Okay.
That's it. And she's not been talking to him because she's really upset.
Are they dating? Married?
They're dating. 3 years. They're dating. Okay. He says, I'm overreacting and he did nothing wrong. Like, he's not even upset. Like, he's not even apologizing. He's just like, you're overreacting. I haven't done anything wrong. You've been eating the pasta and liking it anyways.
I guess I don't know. My initial reaction is, what's the big deal? Because I want to know, how is that she likes the tomatoes? Is this something like, it's not a religious reason, it's not a thing, it's just that she doesn't like the taste of something, right? She's a picky eater.
Yeah.
So it turns out you actually like it, or you don't mind. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. You thought you'd mind it, but apparently you don't.
I mean, like, lying is never a good thing. Like, and it went on for too long, I think. 3 years is a long time to keep a joke, or if that's what it is. So yeah, definitely, like, was a joke that's not funny. But she should also, like, realize... Calm down. I don't know, like, what's the...
I don't know.
Is she thinking that it's, like, a sign for lying potentially elsewhere?
She's like, this is a
What else are you lying about?
Yeah, she's like, this is a big trust, breach of trust and things like that.
I don't know.
But I'm just thinking that I think he should have apologized.
I think when he sees how upset she is, he probably should have apologized.
He shouldn't be sticking to, I haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah.
Because you've been deceiving her for 3 years. Me too, how old
3 years is a long time,
If you do that to me, it's not the tomatoes that, because I'll have to admit at some point that I guess it wasn't.
She also should admit that,
but
this might be unreasonable.
I will admit until you apologizes. I'll be like, just say sorry.
Yeah, it's not a big deal to say sorry. It's not a big deal.
Just say, okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that.
It seems to me like it's a joke, but
3 years.
3 years long. It's not funny anymore.
Yeah. I probably won't talk to you for like a week. I'll be petty.
Yeah, that's interesting.
100%.
Wow. But if it was something like, okay, let's say it was like, she couldn't eat this for religious reasons, or there was a reason behind it that was like sentimental, an allergy, of course, or something substantial, then I would be like, okay, like, this is wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Like, wholeheartedly it's wrong. But if she can give me the good reason as to why she can't eat the tomatoes,
she doesn't like them.
She doesn't like it. Okay. But it turns out she does.
Apparently.
Okay.
I think you should just apologize and keep your... What do you care about? Being right or being with the love of your life? Just apologize and move
Apologizing is not hard. Yeah, you made a mistake. Oh, I thought it was funny, but it's not.
It's not funny. She doesn't like it. Just apologize. I think that's why she's upset. With women, if you check it very, very well, she's upset because he's not saying sorry.
That's a good point.
That's why she's annoyed.
Yeah.
She's giving him, and he's still saying that I didn't do anything wrong. That's why people are getting divorced these days, because you can't just say sorry.
But does she even give him a chance to say sorry?
She's being passive aggressive right now. She's like, I've been passive aggressive for the past week, and he thinks I'm overreacting, and he's refusing to apologize. But
sometimes, like, when you're your head is hot and you're very angry, you don't even hear the apology, or you may not think it's even. You may not think it's what's that word?
It's necessary.
Not necessary.
It's genuine.
It's genuine. Yeah. Or authentic. Yeah. You may just be like, you may not even realize that they've apologized, because your mind is just still, I'm so angry.
Wow.
So you have to be open to accepting that apology and moving past it. Is she open to moving past this?
No, she's asking us if she's the asshole for being upset. She'll not move past it.
Is she the asshole for being upset?
Yeah.
I guess her feelings are valid. If she's upset, she's upset.
He needs to apologize when she's calm. Like, no, after writing this kind of thing now, then you go and say, baby, you need to bribe her. I think you should bribe her. I think that. I think you should just do it.
Bribe her?
Yeah, bribe her as in, like, buy her something, make her feel good.
Yeah.
Just say you're sorry. Just get her flowers just because. Like, anything. Like, just say sorry and move on. I don't think this is a big deal, too. I don't think it means he's not trustworthy. I think that's a reach.
It's a reach, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's not trustworthy. But I think you should just drop his ego and just say, babe,
I think both have ego.
Yeah, she does, because she doesn't. She's surprised. I think what's really wrong with that baby? She's surprised that she actually likes the tomato.
Yeah. She doesn't want to be wrong. Yeah.
Imagine thinking he hates this tomato for all your every day. Like, I don't like it. It's horrible. Yeah. But for 3 years you'll be eating and I'm like, babe, this is the best spaghetti I've ever eaten. Meanwhile, it's a tomato you don't like that babe used to make it. So she's also hurt that she didn't know that she liked it. I think that's what's going on. But just apologize and move on. But yeah, there's no issue there. But
that's interesting, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, I had fun doing this.
I want to do more of
it. I want to do more of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So would you come back?
For sure. You just have to invite me.
Okay, I will. So we'll see you again. Yeah. But thank you so much for joining my podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And again, I'm just gonna repeat how you can connect with Amara. Where can people find you?
So you can find me on Instagram or TikTok, amarauche.co. And on YouTube, you just type in Amara Uche and you'll find me on YouTube. And my website's www.amarauche.com.
And did you say TikTok already?
Yeah, Instagram and TikTok are both amarauche.co.
Okay, perfect. And thank you for listening. If you're still here, please don't forget to like, subscribe, follow this podcast on all the platforms. Follow it on the platform that you
normally listen to podcasts.
Exactly. Thank you. And I'll catch you again next time. Bye.
Bye.